to step aside here, and I'm going to ask you a question as a voter in your district. What can you do for not just me? What can you do for my family and my community that Maxine Waters doesn't do or can't do or won't do?
Well, my pledge is to help build our military readiness and posture. We have to honor our commitments with our veterans. I see veterans coming back from the service, and they come back homeless in the 43rd Congressional District. There's a lot of homelessness in Los Angeles, and when I see that people are not honoring the commitments to our veterans, it's very disheartening and saddening to see that. One of the other things that, I'm here to do, because I want to strengthen our national security, that's something that we have to do. We have to make sure that we're fighting for lower taxes. We have to make sure that we're supporting business growth in our economy, in our district. We have to make sure that businesses are not leaving the state of California, and we have to make sure that we're creating a pro-business atmosphere. And, I'm more about looking at economics, because there's young kids who graduate from college, can't find jobs, and not just young kids, but every American that is out there. There are people that are necessarily having a hard time finding a job, but that has to do a lot with the job creation that the state of California has. There's a lot of red tape that these politicians enact for small business owners, corporations. This has to stop. We're crippling people. Don't people want to have jobs? And that's the question that people are going to ask themselves. People don't want to be unemployed. People want to work. And we got to stop handing things out to people, and people have to go back to work.
Well, so you live in the, excuse me, or I live in the East Coast version of California, or you live in the West Coast version of Massachusetts. But this state, and your state, both incredibly business unfriendly, which is why you're seeing a lot of companies leave California and go to places like Texas. And I got to, but the most important thing right now that I would ask you is, first of all, what's the veteran population in California, and what can you do to start? I think it's a crime that we don't go above and beyond to take care of our veterans and their families. What are some of the things you're thinking about with regards to taking care of veterans?
We are so focused on basically having sanctuary cities in the state of California, and that has a lot to do with it. But what are they doing to help our legal residents? What are they doing to help in putting Americans first? We have things like the DREAM Act where illegals are being handed money, and those are things that are concerning to me, and it should be concerning to everybody. That's money that should be going towards helping out our veterans and making sure that the process of when they're coming here, they're not being left alone. And they did pay back to our society. They gave a big contribution that I'm really thankful for to have that. I have family, that serves in the military, and I'm really proud that they have helped our country, that they put their life at risk for our liberties, and we have to put them first, and we have to make sure that we're making policies that are helping them out, because there are people that can't barely survive on the money they're making when they're enlisted. They don't make that much money in comparison to a police officer. They're making about over $160,000 in Los Angeles with overtime pay. That's a very high pay. That's what's happening here. We have a big pension problem in the state of California.
Right. So talk to me about, excuse me, I apologize. Talk to me about the state's debt and the deficit and the, I mean, from a congressional perspective and being outnumbered, how much of an impact can you have, and where does California, like I said, they're over $500 billion in debt. And I always hear these people talking about, I want to, let's secede and all this other stuff. And I said, listen, if you can come up with your debt, and if you can come up with your $500 billion, go away. But that's not going to happen. And so I'm wondering what can be done about the significant amount of debt that California's burdened with right now.
Well, first of all, we have to work towards creating a pro-business atmosphere in the state of California. Nothing happens if we don't create a pro-business atmosphere. There has to be a sensibility to business and growth in business in the state of California. There has been so many policies in the state of California where you have businesses which are leaving. You have Toyota, an example. The corporate office is taking off to Olean, Texas. They were located in the city of Torrance, the city that I live in. And for me, that was saddening that they were leaving the city. But, you have politicians here who don't have the interests of small business, of corporations. They are not doing anything to fix our economy. What I would like to do, I would like to work with business. I would like to work with industry and making sure that we're creating jobs in the state of California, making sure that we're getting people off the street, making sure we're empowering people to think for themselves. That's what I want to do. That's what I would like to accomplish in Congress.
All right, so somebody, I have a lot of Periscope viewers that are watching the show on Periscope. Somebody, and I'm if I pronounce it wrong, forgive me. Is it Cudahy, California? I was asking
Cudahy,
about
California.
Apparently there's a significant amount of corruption going on in Cudahy, California, and he was wondering what can be done about things like that on the local level.
Yeah, about Cudahy, California, that's something that's very dear to me. I was very active in that move in Cudahy. The city of Cudahy is a city that is poorly mismanaged. I was there myself. I was going to the city council meeting, speaking out against the city council that is there. The voters recently decided that the guy that was the anti-corruption guy, which is by the name of Jack Guerrero, finished the top vote getter in the city. He's the only guy who is fighting against the corruption in that city, and this man is amazing, and he represents what in California what diversity has gotten us. This guy stood his ground. He got attacked for being a white supremacist. He got tied down for being a Trump supporter, for every little thing. And you got to understand the registration in the district. It's about Republican registration is about 10%, and he still won as the highest vote getter. That is amazing, and that is an example in the state of California where people are waking up.
Well, that's a reflection of this last November 8th, too. I think a lot of, the polling and the Democrats kind of polled and heard what they wanted to hear, and it didn't acknowledge what was actually happening, the movement that was actually happening. So what's next for you? Where are you? I'm assuming you're running around getting yourself out there?
Yeah, I'm doing whatever I can to get myself out there. I'm working really hard. I'm pushing 100% of myself, and I'm married, and I have a beautiful wife, and she supports me 100% what I'm doing.
Good.
And that helps a lot. She's behind me, and I have so many supporters who are just coming out of the woodworks, and they're saying enough's enough. Maxine Waters has been there for a long time. She's getting even her information wrong, confusing, going Crimea, Korea. These are things where she doesn't even understand where Crimea is on a map. And
right.
These are the kind of leadership. We need to have people that are, before they talk, that they do the research and they understand what they're saying. It's common sense, and we have to have some common sense back in government. And, Maxine Waters does not have any common sense from what I'm seeing.
No. Well, and I mean, she is the epitome of entrenched politician. I listened to her talk. She clearly brings nothing to the table. She's been rambling about impeachment since the day President Trump took office, offering nothing in the way of support. Not to mention, if she happens to read the impeachment law, she would soon realize they don't have the numbers to impeach anyway. So stop talking about it and get stuff done. But I look around California, and I want to believe there are more Republicans, more Americans than we know of. But it feels to me like California is making a push to become a giant state that's just a sanctuary city in and of itself. What are you going to do about that?
That's one of the things that's dear to me, because a lot of people seem to put, this is what the left does. They divide Hispanics and Latinos, and they put them all in one melting pot, and they treat them as if they were all illegals. And that's a problem, because there are a lot of legal immigrants who are waking up. And this I know from my side, because I've been walking and I've been talking to people, and I've been talking to the Latino community, Hispanic community, and they are tired of being put in one category, because there are people that have done things right that have paid the way. They went through a legal process. They didn't break any laws, and they're waking up and they're realizing, like in Cudahy, that's an example right there. They're waking up and they're realizing that these politicians are not doing anything for them. They're looking for people from outside the box. They want someone that's not a typical establishment candidate, and they want to see change for the better. Not the change that Obama promised, but a true change. that happens in the state of California.
The change that Trump is actually bringing. All right, I want you to talk to me about where campaign at omarnavarro.com is where you can contact the campaign if you want to help out. You have a GoFundMe page as well where people can donate.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
So yeah. I have they can donate straight to my website directly to the campaign if they want to help me out with the campaign at omarnavarro.com. For legal reasons, I have a GoFundMe. That's personal. That's to help towards the protest, the anti-Trump hate that's happening in the state of California, for us to counter stuff. So that's a personal thing because of legal reasons. I have to collect information if they were going to donate straight to the campaign.
All right. OmarNavarro.com. There's a lot of information you can find out about his campaign. He has a bachelor's in criminal justice, assisted victims of crimes at the LA District Attorney's Office. Was obviously a small business guy as well. Listen, I first of all, you're welcome back here anytime. I will do whatever I can to help make this work and to help get you where you need to be, which is helping to serve the constituents of your counties in the United States of America. I wish you nothing but the best, and if you ever need any help, please don't hesitate to let me know.
And thank you, Curt, for having me on the show. And I admire you. I grew up watching you when I was a kid. So I'm very flattered to be on here today.
Thank you. All right, buddy. God bless. Good luck.
God bless. Take care.